What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to show you guys this clip, and this is we're talking about Social Security today, and does Social Security add to our national debt? And so it's interesting because I've seen this clip before, and I think I've actually posted a video maybe a couple of years ago, and I talked about this, but I want to show you guys the details. So we're gonna dig in deep when it comes to Social Security, how it's funded, and why it doesn't add to our national debt. But we have Senator McConnell, and Senator McConnell's not the only one, but Senator McConnell, and I think this was last year, he said he was talking about Social Security, and Social Security is our biggest spender and all this stuff. You know, it's 70% of the spending. I'll show you guys the clip, and then we're going to break it down. So let me show you it first. But first off, you guys can do me a favor, just like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to flip over here, and we are going to take a look at this clip. Now, you see the side by side. So you have Senator McConnell, and then you have former President Reagan. And former President Reagan's going to they're going to show you both sides and kind of explain things to you. And we'll talk a little bit about it as they go. Here we go.
What's going on with the debt?
It's very disturbing, and it's driven by the three big entitlement programs that are very popular: Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid.
Social Security has nothing to do with the deficit. Social Security is totally funded by the payroll tax levied on employer and employee.
That's 70% of what we spend every year. The subject we were just discussing, the funding of the government, is about 30% of what we spend.
If you reduce the outgo of Social Security, that money would not go into the general fund to reduce a deficit. It would go into the Social Security Trust Fund. So Social Security has nothing to do with balancing a budget or erasing or lowering the deficit.
Let me go back and show you this one more time. I just want to kind of line by line go over this.
What's going on with the debt?
It's very disturbing, and it's driven by the three big entitlement programs that are very popular: Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid.
Okay, so let's stop right there. So Mitch McConnell said when it comes to our national debt, it's driven by Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, right? That's what he said. Let's take a look, and I have an illustration here for you guys. You guys know I love doing these illustrations, and I want to just take an overall look of where the money goes, where the money comes from, and where it goes. So you have people working. Most people who are working are contributing to FICA. Okay, so let's just say out of the 5 people here, 4 people are contributing, and then you have one person who is contributing to only a pension, right? And that's what I did. So when I worked, I contributed to a pension. I wasn't contributing to Social Security, so I'm not entitled to Social Security benefits until I reach the 10 years. So you have most people that are contributing to FICA. That money goes to the Social Security Administration, and then it goes to the trust fund. Okay, so it goes in through the Social Security Administration, and then they put it in the trust fund. That money then goes to pay out benefits. Now, the trust fund right now has about $2.7 trillion, right? That's how much money is in the trust fund currently. And then every paycheck, you're contributing to FICA, and that money comes through, it funnels its way in to the trust fund, and then it goes to pay out benefits at 100%, okay? Now, when you're working, you're also paying income tax. And everyone is paying an income tax, okay? Well, I say everyone, but, most of us, you get credits and things like that, but we contribute, we pay income tax. That money goes into a general fund. Now, that money is what goes to pay all of our expenses. So when it comes to running the government agencies, stuff like that, okay? And so that money, if we spend too much, adds to our national debt, okay? And so that's how that works. Now, when it comes to Social Security, and I've said this before, Social Security is walled off from our national debt. None of this money here, $2.7 trillion, or any of the money that's coming in from FICA, none of that money adds to our national debt. All that money does is it cycles through here, and it goes up to pay benefits for people who are currently receiving them. That's all that FICA is doing. Okay, so it has nothing to do with our national debt. Now, he's talking about spending. Mitch McConnell was saying 70% of our spending is Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Okay, so when you're talking about that, that could be true, but that money's coming from the payroll contribution, and they're spending the money on people who are receiving benefits. So you could be spending, the spending could look like 70%, but it's not adding to our national debt. But you always hear politicians try to tie the two together when they're not tied together. And so when it comes to what is driving our national debt, the question that person asked, that's coming from the general fund. That's coming from our national defense budget. That's coming from those budgets. Okay, it's not coming from Social Security. Now, why do we have politicians trying to tie the two together? Well, the reason why they're trying to tie the two together is because if they can lead the American people to believe that Social Security is the problem, we're spending all of our money on Social Security and it's adding to our national debt, then guess what? People are going to say we need to make cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. That is what some lawmakers want you to believe when it's not true. And you had Ronald Reagan explaining that. Social Security never adds to our national debt. These programs are walled off. So we need to be educated when it comes to this because we're all impacted by this. Most of us are going to get to the point where, God willing, we'll get to the point where we can start collecting Social Security benefits if we've earned the credits that we need. And so we want to be able to collect 100% of what we're entitled to, but you have some politicians that want to do away with the program completely or raise a full retirement age and do all this different stuff that can impact us. That's why we need to be educated about how Social Security works, because if we don't know, then now we're going to be in a situation where we're going to let these lawmakers dictate the future of Social Security when most of us have contributed to Social Security and Medicare. And right now, I'm retired, I'm receiving a pension, but I'm still working, and because I'm still working, I'm still contributing to FICA. And then once I reach the credits that I need, then I'll be eligible for Social Security as well. So I want to know what you guys think about this. I like to do these videos just to kind of show you the difference in how politicians are talking now and how, these are both Republicans here, how politicians were talking back in the past about Social Security and Medicare. We've heard this before. Okay, the reason that Ronald Reagan was saying that is because there's always talk of Social Security is going bankrupt. Social Security is the biggest driver of our debt. We hear that. We've been hearing this for years and years, and it's just not true. And so we need to be educated. And so when you hear Mitch McConnell say this, and when you hear some of these other politicians say things about Social Security and how it's going bankrupt or how it's adding to our national debt, you'll know. And you'll know because either you watch my video or you've done research on your own and you realize they're just not telling you the truth. And their strategy is to dismantle the program by making it look like the program is the problem. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, like I said, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.